All right, well, since it's been so long since I've done a video, and a lot of people have asked if I'm going to do any more, obviously I'm going to now. And I thought I would do another Q&A because lately the questions have all been sort of chaos all over the map. So we'll make another attempt, at least trying to answer some of the very basic questions. But then some new ones, obviously. So you've heard this before. You know, I don't know what to tell you, but for a lot of our new followers, these will be new. But here we go. All right. Question one, what is my status with the WWE? And also, like, what jobs do you do? My status with the WWE is I'm under contract with them. Very long-term contract. I still work for the WWE. I will not be going anywhere else. It's a very open contract. It is not a Legends contract. I don't have to do anything. It's a pretty sweet contract, I guess, obviously. But I still work for them. Whenever they need me, they will call, and I will do my best to make it. But I still work with the WWE. I'm always going to be a WWE guy, so I'm not going anywhere else. The other jobs I do a show called McMillan River Adventures on the Outdoor Channel. So for those of you that wonder like how I make a living, that's one of the ways I do it. As you see on my Facebook page, you know, what is it called? I endorse products, things of that nature. I do personal appearances. You know, again, my relationship with the WWE is still a financial relationship as well. Royalties and things of that nature, DVDs. So I have a television show that I do personal appearances. So for those of you that wonder how I make a living, you know, those are the number of different jobs that I do. So, and that's my status with the WWE. If they need me, they'll call. What do I think of the WWE talent? And then there are people that, you know, how come you don't watch it? I don't watch it because I've been around for 25 years, and there's other things that I missed in those 25 years. Shows that I'd like to watch, like NCIS and Cougar Alliance and things of that nature, plus football and things like that. I think the talent is wonderful. The guys that I know, I don't watch it. I don't watch any wrestling shows. I don't watch UFC. I don't watch a lot of. The only sports I watch are football and basketball, as best I can tell. You know, I guess it's because I've done it for so long that you know, I guess I have other interests now. One guy wanted to know, like, do you not watch because, you know, it'll make you want to come back? No. You know, when I go back and I do stuff, I watch. I do my best to help out. Someday I may go back and help out. But even in the last, you know, 5 years, I did not watch a lot of what we do. I think it gives me a fresh perspective. When I do come back and I watch, I think that's one of the pluses to not watching on a regular basis. It gives you a more objective view of the product. So even if I were to go back and work, just like I did when I was wrestling, I never watched the shows because I felt it gave me a fresh perspective on the product. I think you can be too close at times. I think there's a wrestling bubble that many of you are in, many people within the industry are in. I think it's, for me personally, I have found to be out of that bubble works better for me. So that's one of the reasons I wouldn't watch it even if I were to go back and work there, because I think it gives me fresh eyes. Alrighty, why or do I keep my stuff? Do I have a trophy room? No, I don't have a trophy room. At one time when I was younger, I did have an office that had some belts in it and some pictures. But then, you know, it's been 15 years since I've had that. I don't keep belts. I've got one picture of me and Hunter and Vince McMahon in our house. That's about it. I just never really thought about, you know, having belts on the wall or things of that nature. I've got them all right here and right here. All my memories, those are the things that are enough. I don't need a trophy room. Do I keep in contact with any of the guys? Yes, I do. Obviously, Triple H and I and Kevin Nash and I talk, and text on a regular basis. Keep in contact with Michael Cole. JR and I talk. Cena and I text every now and then. Jericho and I text every now and then. Edge and I text every now and then. And then obviously I'm always back for WrestleMania. I'm always seeing the guys 2 or 3 times a year, and that's how we catch up. My favorite match. Never been able to boil that down to one. I've got many. The list goes on and on about the matches that I've enjoyed. My last 2, one with Angle, one with Cena, one's with Hunter. Razor and I, WrestleMania 10, Jericho and I, darn near anything we did. I've got just countless of matches that I'm proud of. So I can't boil it down to just one. Anyone that I wish I'd wrestled but I didn't? No, there isn't. Not for me. For me personally, my wish list before I got into wrestling and as I was in it, my wish list was complete. That's one of the reasons I felt so good about leaving. I recognize that there are matches that didn't happen. A lot of people talk about The Rock or Eddie Guerrero, and believe me, I think they would have been phenomenal. But I mean, when everyone asked me if there was a match that I desperately wanted to have, those were guys that when I got in to the business, some of them weren't even in yet, so they weren't in my mind, matches that would be made on my wish list. Most of mine were with older guys anyway, so and I was fortunate enough to get to have those matches. Do I want to do a movie? Suppose I do it if I thought it was a good one. I've been offered a couple with the WWE. I've just chosen not to do them from some of it's been timing and things of that nature. Right now it's not anything I have an interest in. I thank them for the offers that they have made. Maybe one day if it's something that looks like it'll be fun, if I think I can do a good job at it. I wouldn't want to do one if I didn't think I could do a very good job. I prefer not to make a stinker, I guess, if I can help it. There's an oldie but a goodie. Do I have a Facebook account? Yes, everything. www.theshawnmichaels.com has my one and only Facebook account, my one and only Twitter account, and my one and only YouTube account. Those are the only ones I have. And the great thing is, I'll get that question still 100 different times in a day on my Anyway, here's another one. Are you coming back? Or would you come back? I'd come back anytime they ask. I'm not going to come back and wrestle. I don't think there's any reason for that. I think it's great that the business is moving on. But anytime they call, I would be, I go back and would always be up for doing anything. Again, if it's something that I haven't had the time to do. I mean, I do have another show that I do. So obviously, one of the reasons I retired is because I didn't want to be traveling all the time. So if it were something that worked with the schedule, you bet I would seriously consider it. Have I always had long hair? Am I going to cut my hair? No. No, I haven't always had it, but most of the time I have. And am I going to cut it? Not anytime soon. I pay no attention to my hair. Obviously, my appearance. At one time when I was younger, I paid attention to my appearance. I actually cared. Now I go for days without showering. I can care less. I mean, and I think it's obvious by the way I dress. I'm a pretty dirty person now by nature, so I can care less what happens to my hair. It's all I can do just to keep it washed. So there you go. Did you like being a good guy or a bad guy better? When I was younger, bad guy was obviously a ton more fun. You could do so much more creatively, and it was just more fun. As I got older, in the last several years, I could basically get by with doing anything, especially when we were doing DX. So that was a ton of fun. When you can creatively begin to get away with just about anything, your mood could be good, bad, or otherwise, and people like it. That's obviously the most fun. And near the end, that's basically what it was. I mean, I could be a quote good guy one week and a quote bad guy the next week, and people still liked it. And that's obviously when it's the most fun. And do I have any regrets? Is there something that I would do different, or something I'd want to change? We all make mistakes, obviously. You'd love not to make some of those mistakes you made, but I've also been one of those people, I believe that if you take one deck out of the house of cards, the whole thing crumbles down. So for me, if I hadn't made all those mistakes in the past, I wouldn't be where I'm at now, and I like where I'm at now, so I wouldn't change any of the stuff. Sure, you'd like to do it without hurting people, but since that can't happen, and it's completely impossible, and it's not realistic, I don't spend a lot of time dwelling on it. Do I play video games, and have I ever been like the Shawn Michaels character on the video games I've played? I don't play them. I'm not any good at them. So I've never done me. My son has done it. He and my daughter can play the video games. They've done, you know, Shawn Michaels the character, but I don't play them. Do I watch my old matches? No, I don't. I used to when I was working regularly. I would, after a pay-per-view, I would come back, watch the match, study it, you know, sort of decide what I liked, what I didn't like. I have never been really somebody that will sit around and watch a lot of wrestling anyway. I'm just that way. I'd go back and I'd study my stuff, but that was the extent of it. And I have not done that in the last several years. I can't remember the last time I watched me wrestle. Not any reason why, just like, you know, I don't know, I guess it's like you work with a hamburger every day. The last thing you want to do is have a hamburger when you go home. Maybe that's why. How much influence on the DVDs or the books and things like that were about me did I take place in? Other than the interviews that I did, I was never one to really take a big part in that stuff. I think I requested one, you know, in all the DVDs that have been done on me, I think I requested to have one match put in there, and that's it. I never took any part in what matches they put on or how they did it. I never really cared, even with my book. You know, I sat down with the guy, he wrote it. I read through it once and said fine. And the reason for that is because the way that the Shawn Michaels character and HBK the character are portrayed are different from me. You know, in a lot of ways we're the same, but in, you know, even more ways we're different. And you know, well, we were always selling HBK and Shawn Michaels, the TV guy, and so it never really mattered to me. A lot of times, really, how that was portrayed. He was supposed to be controversial. So if something's said wrong or something's not really correct, it never really mattered to me that much anyway, because you know, from a TV standpoint, I was supposed to be a controversial character. I've never worried about doing a 100% authentic autobiography of the real me, because I don't want it. I want to keep that stuff private, and that's just stuff that's none of anybody's business but the people that I'm close to. Why did I change my ring gear? Get that one a lot. Mostly just because I wanted to change. I get tired of wearing the tighter tights. You know, at the end I was wearing 2 braces on my knees, and it was just easier to wear baggier pants. Plus, so much near the end, my outfits were more about wearing the t-shirts cut off in a certain way, and I figured, you know, my wife gave me a great idea that, you know, that I could incorporate, you know, the chaps, you know, into the ring gear, so I could still sort of keep some of the older HBK persona with the chaps and things of that nature, and then still wear the shirts. So, and it was mostly just a change, I guess. I mean, and they were baggier pants. I mean, it's, I don't know, maybe when you get older, you like baggier stuff, and you don't like stuff is tight on you. But it was certainly more comfortable, a ton easier to travel with. Just worked out altogether better in the end. Do I like the Attitude Era or the PG era? Neither one really mattered to me much. I mean, obviously, I'm always sort of amused by the fact that people are like, oh, it's just not the same. I mean, think about it. I mean, honestly, the Attitude Era, as great as it was, and it was great, you know, and I even get asked, like, gosh, do you regret not being a part of that? No, because that's when the greatest things in the world happened in my life, so I wouldn't trade it for anything. But to think about it, from 97 to even 2002 when I came back, and that's a 5-year period. I mean, 5 years in a span of a career that's 25 years long is not a huge time. So yeah, we had a lot of fun at that time, and we could do a lot of stuff creatively, but on either side of that is probably more PG era than anything else. And the business was still fine, still went good, and guys could still do good work. So I mean, I think a lot of it is used as a crutch or an excuse. You just have to think a lot more creatively when you can't, cuss or point your crotch and stuff like that. You just gotta think a little more and work a little harder. But I don't think one era is better than the other. Obviously, there was a lot more money made in a shorter amount of time. I mean, that's nothing to argue. But at the same time, it still only lasted 5 years, and it didn't stop because nobody wanted to do it anymore. It stopped because it was a period that only lasted for a certain amount of time, and then it ran its course. So I mean, you could come back and try that again. I don't know if it would work. I know there are people that think it would, but I mean, I don't know. And I guess I don't spend a lot of time on the big question marks. I mean, if they do it, it works, then we'll know. Otherwise, we don't, and I could care less. All right, do I block people, and why? Yes, I do, and I do it for a number of reasons. I don't know, I guess for language, people that think they're funny, but they're not. Obviously, threats and, just meanness. Again, the irony is, there's so much cyberbullying everybody wants to get behind, but it's okay if they do it to us. So, I mean, I don't care, but, I'm gonna block who I want. I would rather have quality over quantity on my pages. People that are, whether they make fun of me or anybody else for appearance or language or things of that nature, just anything that I decide that I don't like and it's mean, I block people for it. Again, this isn't a Twitter that's a democracy. It's a dictatorship, and it's my Twitter. So I guess I'll run my stuff the way that I want to run it. And I'm sorry if that offends folks, but I would encourage you to run yours your way. Anyway, also at the end of all this, please www.theshawnmichaels.com. My YouTube link is there. My one and only Facebook account is there, and my Twitter is there. And I will work on trying to do more of these videos in the future. But hopefully this will answer some of the questions that have been asked over the last several months. Thank you all very much. See ya.